Should I show him the inside?
唔好啦，對佢哋太有型啊咁樣。
Ever since I was a kid, my father told me about the legacy of Hong Kong suits, the finest fabrics, the sharpest hands. And after all these years, it was finally time to get one for myself. This is Empire Tailors, and I really truly promise you, these are some of the best clothes you will ever buy. In this video, we're going to show you how it's made, how you can order one, explore the business and the people behind it, and show it off a little bit in this great city. Let's go.
Great to see you.
Glad you made it.
Me too.
Come on in.
Empire has been around going strong for over 40 years. In the cutthroat world of Hong Kong business, this is no small feat. Their customers span the globe. They've been profiled by the New York Times and even recognized by the White House. They have generational clients all over the world, and it's not uncommon for customers dating back 20 years or older to order on the regular.
These are the books of the customers' orders over the years from the beginning of the store.
The last time I was in Hong Kong, I had Empire make me a beautiful two-piece suit, but while I was editing, Mark & Co. opened an entirely brand new store, stepping up both the location and the offerings.
So this is vicuna, which is probably one of the most expensive fabrics in the world. This is from Peru.
And what's it made out of?
The softest, finest fibers in the world, produced by alpaca.
How much does a suit cost?
A suit in vicuna costs around more or less $10,000 US.
They offer high-end shoes, an elite showroom, and an easy-to-reach part of the city. And they're the only store where you can see the tailors, real Hong Kong born and raised tailors, working in the very same room.
What part of Hong Kong are you from? Jordan. Okay, local. In his opinion, what makes Hong Kong tailoring unique?
It's no idea.
He has no idea?
So that being said, this time I'm going with something snazzy and versatile I can wear any day of the week back in Tokyo. So after retaking measurements and deciding on a fabric, picking a super cool custom liner, I landed on this. By the way, you might be wondering what's the big deal about Hong Kong suits. Here's 30 seconds of history breaking down the legacy. Hong Kong's reputation for these amazing suits started way back in the early days of British colonialism. The Brits, being sharp dressers, craved custom suits in this new environment, so local tailors embraced the craft and started putting their unique spin on British styles. As demand grew, skilled tailors from mainland China emigrated to the city, blending Chinese precision and innovation with the legacy of British suit making. Now fast forward to the 1960s, and Hong Kong has become a world-class hub for business and tourism. Word of mouth spreads not only about the quality, but also the speed of the tailoring, and the city becomes a go-to destination for world-class suits. So now what's going to happen is this. Mark and team are going to grab the fabric and form it into what they call a basted fitting, basically the rough draft of the coat. This involves marking down measurements on the fabric, cutting the fabric, assembling the scraps of fabric into the basted fitting, and adding the canvas.
So the canvas they use is sourced locally and is made from horsehair. How old is this machine?
40 years.
40 years old?
Yeah.
Wow. Made in Japan.
Yeah, making that in.
They rely more on these machines than the latest one.
It's crazy to think that this was just a sheet of fabric a little while ago and it's already taking form as a sport coat. Look, they're not kidding when they say speed in Hong Kong.
As the suit was underway, I went out with Mark and Azim to grab some local food and catch up. Azim recently returned to Hong Kong after 8 years in Canada.
Why'd you decide to go back to Hong Kong?
It's something that I had scheduled for quite a while. It's time to have a younger perspective around. We got to preserve our traditions, but we got to take our craft as it is and make it more accessible to people.
8 years apart, are you guys?
We're 8 years apart.
Who's better at the internet?
He's not bad. He's not bad.
How many legacy tailors are left in Hong Kong?
Not many. I think of 4 right. There were tailors every corner in Hong Kong 50 years ago, 30 years ago, thriving.
What happened?
Times change. Yeah. Expectations change. I think in our line of work, it's very tempting for certain businesses to take a lot of shortcuts in terms of the fabrics they use, shortcuts in terms of like the tailoring process itself. In order to really reap the benefits, you have to create these really long-term relationships where the same customers keep coming back to you. We still have customers that knew our dad from back in like the 80s.
So what would you say is the hallmark of a Hong Kong suit?
The micro adjustments that they make. The good Hong Kong tailors aren't 24-hour tailors. Like anyone with any respect for craft isn't going to sell you a 24-hour suit.
So most of your tailors look like they're at or almost post-retirement age. How are you planning for that?
We have a young tailor on board. We're trying to assemble a younger crew. It's going to take some time, but I think in the next 5 years, we're going to have a younger crew. It's really important for us that our senior tailors mentor our younger tailors and kind of bridge that generational gap.
After breakfast, Mark and his brother were off to London to meet new clients and build relationships in the fabric world, something they do consistently all year. But in the meantime, let's go meet the stars of the show.
So how long have you been a tailor?
almost 60 years.
60 years?
60 years.
Wow.
Awai is kind of like the captain of the ship. He signs off on all the suits that come through the shop, making sure they fit the bill every stop of the way. He's also a brilliant tailor himself.
Your father was a tailor too.
Yeah.
Did he teach you how to tailor?
Yes.
How old were you?
12.
What was some of the first stuff that he taught you?
Tell me how to cut the pants first.
And where did he teach you?
In the workshop.
This is you, yes?
Yeah. It's been a very long time.
How long did it take you to become a professional tailor?
Maybe 27 and 28.
The new store is different than the old stores.
The old store is very not big, it's small.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it better to have windows?
Yes, because we're working
In the basement?
Yeah, no window.
2 days later, it was time to try on the first fitting.
Hong Kong food. He left.
We go a little bit.
I mean, it already feels great.
No,
It's awesome.
so that's fine now. Fitting is done.
Over the next 3 days, I did work, explored some local areas of town, toured maybe the most amazing garden I've seen in Asia, and of course, ate a ton of great food.
All right, time to pick it up. That is incredible. In terms of fit, it's just there, just perfect. You work with a white shirt too, right? Oh my God. I like the white. I don't ever want to take this off. I might sleep in this. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. Thanks.
Later that night, I decided to meet up with one of my dear friends and Hong Kong experts, Angel Lau. We've done a few other videos together. She saw my sport coat and found an appropriate, vibey place to show it off.
What is this called?
Chiu chow pochi. They kind of like a soup with rice and fish, fresh fish, and dried fish.
This is the best thing I've ever had in Hong Kong. Right there. I know, I say that every time, but really, it is this. Look at that. Why aren't you eating?
Because I'm filming you.
Eat.
Okay.
For the record, restaurants like this are totally disappearing in Hong Kong. The atmosphere, the realness, the vibe, the local crowd. So much so that this place has already made a name for itself as a popular place to film. Why? Because these old school haunts just simply don't exist anymore.
One day, do you think all this will be gone?
Yes, it's going to be gone in a few years. People are moving out nowadays. One block is already blocked, they're empty.
What are you gonna miss most about it?
So look up, you see sky right here, right? But when it's redeveloped, they will make tall buildings, so the sky will be blocked.
You're gonna miss the sky the most.
Yeah, I gotta miss the sky the most.
Much like old school tailoring, old school Hong Kong is also slowly fading away. My leads for the stories I find come from all places. A line in a guidebook, a passing comment. And most of the time, I cannot go back and thank the person who tipped me off to this great adventure. But for once, I can. This one's for you, Dad. If you'd like to place an order with Empire, the best thing to do is to go to their showroom in Hong Kong. Or alternatively, they do fitting tours in major cities all over the world. Sign up for the newsletter below to see when they're near you.